Video 25. April 28, 2011. Mythi. Our friend Cindy asks some questions that encompass several other questions asked by other friends. So I'll ask about the points raised by it. I would like to understand why the reptilians were not stopped from interfering with the development of humanoids on Earth. By this I am referring to 100 or so years ago when contact was made. When Earthlings were not at that point in development for alien interactions. Not only did they interact but made agreements, one of which is the extermination of all the humanoids on Earth. This is okay with the Community Galactica? Well, Cindy, as I explained previously, you as residents of this planet at this time may accept to live with other races of free and spontaneous will. We also understand that this decision, by elitists, does not represent the will of your race as a whole. But, see, you as a race, in this present stage should have learned to choose your leaders. If not for our presence on the planet, you long ago would no longer inhabit the Earth. When I say our presence, I mean the many races who fought to preserve this colony of humanoids under development. One day, you may access the history of this colony and will be amazed with the many struggles to defend you from annihilation. Currently, with the advent of the Community Galactica, no race could promote annihilation as you mentioned. The reptilians are
using
the lust for power and control of your elites to control the planet. We know this, but we can only intervene if we can prove their participation in genocide on your planet. Your elites have done it, killing other humans for them. We cannot influence decisions of your own society. The survival of your race depends on yourself, as a race. Whether or not we are ready for the new age, even if we were cavemen. I thought killing of any living entity is not allowed. How can any agreement be honored when those that the agreement affects have not agreed or disagreed to participate, even worse, not even knowing this agreement existed? See, you have hundreds of extinct races of animals, insects, and tribes of humanoids by ignorance, religion, politics, or greed. Your planet is in chaos. All those who discarnate here are already being transferred to the 2 colonies that are already receiving them. Like I said, initially just over 10% of humans will remain current with its cycles of reincarnation on this new Earth. That's exactly what you wisely mention in your philosophies, the separation of the wheat and tare. The only way this happens is in the process of reincarnation. Cannot
pay
or bribe anyone for a ticket to a better place than the one that is reserved for the frequency of your aura. Am I correct in assuming that the terms in the
elites
agreement with the reptilians basically states the elites? Let the reptilians have Earth in exchange for supplying the elites with a new place to live for the duration of the Earth changes, i.e. Mars and/or Moon. No, the reptilians can never take ownership of your Earth. Your Earth is a humanoid colony, and they are not. They want to enjoy the Earth as
guests
by your race, represented by your elites. Your elites, yes, they sold themselves body and soul unconditionally in return for technological trinkets, medicines for a long life, and protection from events, etc. but soon you will see for yourself that this is all a big mistake. Nobody can escape the destiny of evolution, and perhaps you will glimpse one of your kings, presidents, or popes harvesting vegetables in some modest colony of farmers, learning to develop humility lost. You, Mythi, stated that those not reaching correct frequency will be transferred naturally to the two colonies. How does one naturally transfer to another planet? This question demonstrates a passionate connotation. How could we randomly take millions of people to other colonies without knowing what social problems could be caused by that? People with the most different character, auras, and frequencies would still be causing the same problems they cause here. The unbalance of the society as a whole. Without the natural selection process, we'd just be transferring the problem of a heterogeneous race from one location to another. Are you worried if you will live or die? Is that it? There is no
dead or alive.
You cannot remember because your memories are in another dimension, in the fourth. When you incarnate in the third dimension, you have the freedom to develop without the weight of previous information. That is what makes the magic of the development of your aura. If you remembered everything you have done or not done in past incarnations, you would spend the next incarnation worrying or blaming yourselves. And you would not have time or head to develop. If the caterpillar grows well, it produces a more perfect butterfly, which in turn will generate a better caterpillar, and so on. You'll notice when you disembody. To be a butterfly is much better than being a caterpillar. In that same paragraph you state, we have long awaited the entry of the Earth as a mature colony and balance in our community. Finally it will happen even if it costs a little intercession. Am I correct in my assumption that Andromeda is the true owners of Earth? No, you're wrong. We do not own the Earth, moreover, we do not own any of the planets that we humbly occupy. We simply take care of them as they take care of us. No planet has an owner. It does have its occupants who are responsible for it during the period they are living there. You can be the proud owner of a mountain, but when you're gone, it will be another
owner
who takes possession. See, the mountain will last millennia, and you, with luck, 76 laps around the sun. The Community Galactica has many humanoid colonies in observation and protection. The Earth has been awaited because it is at the point of maturity for the initial seeding of galactic knowledge. When this happens, it's like an official graduation, one more humanoid society to share knowledge and development. From there, you are ready to live with your other brothers scattered throughout countless galaxies where we have contact. Due to the Earthlings' inability to reach the status to be recognized by the Community Galactica, you have no obligation to the inhabitants occupying the planet. I think I already answered that question. Because if it had not been for the care of the Community Galactica, humanoids on the planet Earth would have ceased to exist many thousands of years ago. Since Earthlings are an unsanctioned mix of different breeds, is it up to those various breeds the Earthlings originated from to take responsibility for their offspring's welfare? Even after abandoning them, as long as they die from natural causes, this is acceptable? You've heard the expression,
be fruitful and multiply.
Okay, this is the direction of seeding colonies in the farthest reaches of the universe. The result of growth reflects the quality of the seed. The cultures that gave their genes to develop here have no responsibility for their seeds. You were not abandoned, you were planted. Your concept of life and death is what passionately separates the two stages. The humanoid colony of Earth, a few handfuls, generated billions of beings. These beings will colonize many other planets. And thus the universe will be less empty of life. Regardless of frequency bands, the last age of the planet was exceptionally fertile. You are coming close to the first connections with the reality of matter, space, and energy of the aura generated by mental activity. This science is quantum physics. Through it, you'll come to understand many processes that are not explained by your conventional science. Everything is alive in some form in the universe. Even the smallest atomic particle can sense aura and mental vibrations. What are the origins of the various eye colors humanoids have on Earth? The different colors of iris features are the result of genes. There is no connotation of development of aura or frequency that is a factor to determine the color of the iris. This depends only on the dominant branch, in the formation of certain breeds. As an example, you have the same breed. Cats, with blue eyes or yellow eyes. Whether they have blue eyes or yellow eyes depends on the predominant strain from which they developed. Do you know of a planet in the Milky Way called Ibanya? No, by that name there is nothing in the records. If you give me a more accurate position, I can see what exists in the reported position. Mythi, if you were one of us here on Earth suddenly finding out who you really are and what has been kept from you. That if you received this knowledge at the time when you should have gotten it, you would have been aware of the coming events and set about preparing yourself and everyone you share the planet with a way to escape it. Without any outside intervention. You were never allowed to choose your fate, never given the opportunity to even try to come up with a solution. Put yourself in our shoes, and tell me what you would do. A trend of passion again. Look, you're worried about your physical integrity. I understand well that instinct for survival. But, let's enact a situation. If you were told that you only have one more week of life, would you comply with the inevitable disembodiment? Would you curse the world? Kill your enemies? Spend all your money? Or would you try to put yourself in tune with the place you want to go? See, if you were taken somewhere where you had more than 10 years of life. This would not make the slightest difference in universal terms because time means nothing if you're not tuned to the planned schedule for you. The average lifespan of humanoids on Earth in this period that just ended is approximate 76 laps of Earth around your Sun. It's nothing. You will notice that in many cases you spend more time in the fourth dimension than the third. If I were you, I would not worry about the matter. I'd be trying to participate in this upgrade, with the head and the spirit lifted. Because after all, I would long to be part of this new stage of development. Whether I am embodied or not will not make any difference to me in the context of development. If perhaps you are still incarnated here on Earth in this new age, you probably will see us here because we will help society to reinstall the remainder. and many of your humanoid species coming from the Pleiades should come as missionaries to teach and transfer technology for this new stage of development.